Jesus Freak here, and I'm not sure what this was supposed to be the 500th anniversary of in 1949, which is the latest copyright date I can find in here. I'm guessing it's 500th anniversary of the Gutenberg Bible, but I really have no way to be sure. Anyway, it looks to be a pretty bog stock 1940s King James Bible for the most part. Now, there's a sign of a couple pages being cut out here. Probably a presentation page of some sort. It says, the Good Shepherd Edition Christian Workers Bible. I'll explain that a bit. It was apparently marketed by a company called Barrett Distributors in Dallas. And published by the John C. Winston Company. I want to believe this evolved into Holt, Reinhardt, and Winston. It's published in the U.S. and immediately goes into this I guess sort of a encyclopedic index. It's pretty comprehensive. It's in two parts. The first part alone is 287 pages. And then there's a shorter second part. It's only about 30 pages. And has like a brief outline of the Bible and some other stuff. The bulk of the text seems to have a copyright date of 1905 and 1933. And it has the epistle dedicatory, followed by a second title page for the Christian Workers Bible, crediting a J. Gilchrist Lawson and a Reverend Jesse Lyman Hurlbut. Never heard of these names. These are followed by an introduction and a guide. And then there's a sort of alphabet of salvation with a bunch of references. It basically looks like this. And this is followed up by a 1-year reading plan. A guide to the references, and where to find it section, kind of like the Gideon's Bibles have. Then there's a guide to the pronunciation marks. Then the table of contents that goes right into Genesis. Now, certain passages are marked with references to this alphabet of salvation and references like continuing a chain. Like you can see here with this KLOW, and there's a couple references at the end of the verse. It has 1611 headings. It's pretty much typical of the Bible this time. You've got your usher dates right at the top. And a little way in, there's a section called Lineweber paintings. Which has a bunch of illustrations kind of like these. And some of them are color, some of them are black and white. It's a pretty thick section. There's thumb tabs, seem to be intact. Now this copy's red, but I was Googling around to try to find some information. I couldn't really find much, but apparently it was also printed with a white cover. I'm guessing this is some sort of a Morocco, because I had another Bible with a cover like this, and that's what it was. It doesn't really say. It has gotten stiff with age. And in about the middle of the Bible, you have the 4 gems of the Bible. And there's 10 Commandments, Psalm 23. The whole thing's basically laid out like that. Beatitudes, the Lord's Prayer. At the end of the Old Testament, there's actually a full illustrated section quoting from the entirety from Matthew 4:23 to 8:1. And it looks something like this. Goes into the New Testament with a simple but correct title page. It's a little bit of damage. Not much. The page still holds together. There's a little bit of markup in here, not much. At the end of Revelation, there's a family section. Overshot there a little. There's Bible verses at the bottom of these each. And then there's a concordance and proper name index dated to 1929. Which is pretty thick. And the section for military service records, which I guess I hadn't seen before, but if this came out like right after World War II, I guess it makes sense. Then there's a section called the Hour of Prayer, which features a bunch of various types of prayer for various circumstances. Even has a whole ton of graces. Doesn't have the one I know, I think. Yeah, it doesn't have the one I was taught. And it's got a bunch of maps, which seem to be pretty much typical maps you'd find in Bibles of the era. Late 1940s. And this was just sitting in there, indexed to the alphabet. I'm guessing it might have been meant to go to the front because it has a Roman numeral 11 on it. It's in pretty good shape. It's the cover's all dried out. If there were any ribbon markers, they're gone. And it's got a fair amount of yap. Not that that matters much to me. I mean, I'm used to my Bibles with just a tiny bit of yap. But it's pretty solid. It's pretty thick, but serves its purpose. And a lot of Bibles I've seen from that era are pretty thick. Now, I've seen a lot of Oxford ones don't start the usher dating right away. This one obviously does. See the 4004 BC at the top? So, still no idea what the 500th anniversary is supposed to be, other than maybe Gutenberg, but pretty solid for what it is, I guess. Jesus freak out.